Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today, inshallah, I will do my testimony for the Sufi path, the Karkariya path. I will do this testimony in basically two parts. The first part will be my life before the Bayah, my journey that led me to take the engagement with our Shia, Sidi Muhammad Fawzi al-Karkari. May Allah sanctify his secrets. And the second part will be my beginning in the Tariqa on how this completely changed my life. So my journey, I would say, began when I was about 12 or 13 years old. I started to wonder about the purpose of life, like many of us. I was not influenced by any group. Basically, my father is a Muslim, but he does not practice religion and did not really talk to me too much that I remember of when I was a child. And my mother is an atheist, so I was not under any influence. When I began my teenage years, I started to do some research about spirituality. A lot of research. What I found, the common points between all the beliefs was that I didn't see any truth, any direct experiences of God, direct experiences of spirituality that indicates me that this was the way. Basically, Islam told you they have the truth. Christianity tell you they have the truth, and basically every other system of belief, spiritual belief, tells you the same. So I was like, why will I choose this one but not this one? So in my research, I started to look for direct experiences, and at first I found this in psychedelic experiences, like people that took basically drugs and tell you they have vision and stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe there's something there. So I had a few minor experiences with this, but it didn't profoundly affected me in the way that I was like, okay, this is mind-blowing, this is what I was looking for and stuff. So I was like, okay. At about 16, 17, I was in this process of research. Basically, this was the most important thing in my life. In school, I was not really listening, or I was always studying just to pass by to the next year, but my main focus was this, and I did not understand why in classroom we don't talk about this. It felt like we were fed with a lot of superficial knowledge, but not with what really matters. So when I was 16, 17, I had some issues, personal issues that led me to started to smoke cannabis, that I did for years. Progressively, I increased my consumption. It became an addiction, and at this point I was numb, I felt numbness inside, a void. I remember when I was in my 20s, I remember waking up one day and looking outside and hangover from the day before, and thinking another day in this life that basically doesn't make any sense. So I was empty, I felt empty, and I was trying to cover that with this addiction, but at what point it did not it wasn't enough anymore. So I started to go through some kind of I would say depression. But the good thing is it led me to actively search for something. I knew if I didn't search for something, I would be lost. So in this research, Allah led me to basically to a field of study, and in this field of study I met two brothers of the Sufi path that told me about the light. first, when they told me about it, I thought it was a metaphor, because like everybody in the world talk about light, song talk about light, religion talk about light. I was like, okay, might be interesting, but I don't know. And then as we talked, as we'll talk further, they started to explain me that this light was something they see every day, and that is for them a connection with God. So at this point I was mind blown. I was like, subhanallah, like why am I not aware of this? How come so few people are aware of this, when this is a concrete proof of the existence of God? So we started talking more about light, about vision, like about the spiritual experiences that they have. But my point of view, the way I conceived the religion, Islam, like all other religion, was narrowed. I thought like, okay, like you have to do a lot of things, but what is it for? Like, I don't know, like all the things that you go to hell or you go to heaven. But I was like, isn't there something more to this? And the answers that they gave me about Islam to my questions were very profound and made a lot of sense to me. So progressively, my intellectual boat that I constructed, that religion that was narrowed, was broken. And then I started to see that, okay, in Islam there is a system. This system is logical. It makes perfect sense. And so I got interested. So month after month of discussions, I ended up, after 6 months, I felt a calling. Like I woke up one day, I did not know how to pray at this point, but I started doing dhikr all day, every day for like 10 days. I repeated the shahada, I was doing dhikr, and after those like 2 weeks, I booked a flight to Morocco, to the Zawiya of Al-Arwi. I went there. When I went there, at first I was scared, because it was an environment completely different than what I was, that outside of my comfort zone. I met the sheikh. So the first time I met the sheikh, it will be quite hard to explain with words. It's something you have to experience directly. But I would say, when I saw him, it's like something inside I knew at like 100% that I found something, like I found the truth. Then I started to get scared, because if that's the truth, that means that my whole life before, the way I lived was completely like opposite to what you were supposed to do according to the Sharia, according to God laws. But you know, God is forgiving with whoever is really looking for his forgiveness. So the first week I started to pray, and Sidi Shir at about 10 days gave me the bayah, so he showed me the nur, and then my spiritual path in the Tariqa started. My life completely changed. It was like before, my life was grey, and now I saw things in color again. You get a connection with God that you can't taste outside of this spiritual path. Like on a daily basis, you have a connection to God. You think about something, and at the exact moment you have an answer. Like it's like you watch a painting, another painting, there's something right that answer to a question. Or two people in the same bus as you talk. They don't even talk to you, but they answer to your question. Every day you receive like spiritual fruits, spiritual knowledge about yourself, about God, about the meaning of life, and you know, it's like the real purpose of life, which is to know God. By knowing your soul, you feel like every day you're walking toward that path, and this completely changed me. My habits changed, the people that I hang out with changed, and basically this is like this changed my life for the better on every single aspect. So I will end with this, inshallah. And if you want to come to the path and you have questions, don't hesitate, come and ask us. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين.